Good morning from Breazeale's Grocery, Bluegrass. We're located here at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina. I'm your host, Don Acevedo, along with my co-host, Mark Stoudemire, who will be here in just a minute. Today is Wednesday, November 6, 2024. The weather outside, 70 degrees, cloudy skies. The high today is supposed to reach 74 with a 15% chance of rain. A beautiful, wet day in the upstate. Most of you know about the terrible storms that we had in the upstate. Remember those that weren't so fortunate as us. Keep them in your prayers. Our internet service was out for several weeks, but we're now back and running up. And from what I understand, they're putting a new fiber optic cable in here. So I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said it'll be 10 times faster than what we have here. So that's pretty exciting. Our shout outs go to Jane, Heather, Josh, Carter, Blaine, Hampton, Hudson, Kinsey, Kim, Josh, Blakely, Grant, Sil, Heidi, Charlie, Harper, and of course, always loving our son, Martin. Here at Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass, we have lessons, all kinds of lessons. We teach fiddle, classical fiddle, mandolin, bass, guitar, banjo, and anything with a string on it, we teach. We have the best instructors by far in the upstate, in my opinion. For more information on lessons, you can call me at 864-376-1482. Again, my name is Don. Call me 864-376-1482. And if you want to call us during the broadcast, you may do that. I have my phone here, and I'll try to answer any of your questions if you call during the broadcast. Okay, please click on the subscribe button below to subscribe to our channel. Just click on subscribe and you'll be on our channel. Our sponsor today is a great musician, a great friend, and a great guy, Mr. Gary Bell. Gary Bell teaches here on Wednesdays, 9:30 till dark, 7 o'clock. So if you're interested in playing the banjo or guitar, you can contact me at 864-376-1482, and I'll get you in contact with Mr. Gary Bell. Great instructor, a great guy. You'll love him to pieces. And his brother taught here for years, Larry Bell, who is a dear friend of mine. We lost him a little over a year ago. So he's up there with my son. They're picking banjo up there together now. And actually, he taught my son banjo as well. So anyway, Mr. Gary Bell, he's in the audience today. So thank you, Mr. Bell, for all you do for us musicians. And we have a new guy here on the block here that just started today taking banjo lessons. Murph Ivy is with us today in the show. Okay, our sponsor today is Mr. Bell. You our sponsor today. We're located here at 5109 Liberty Highway. For our phone number, you can call me at 864-376-1482. Again, that number is 864-376-1482. You can call during our broadcasts as well. You can also follow us on our social media pages, YouTube, Facebook under Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass, and Instagram under BG Bluegrass. Remember, click below to subscribe. Click it. We sell hats, shirts, mugs. There's one of our mugs here. Mark and my co-host will be up here in a little bit. He's got one of my mugs too. So we also sell instruments, fiddles, guitars, banjos, bass guitar, pretty much anything with a string on it. If we don't have it, I can find you one for sure. Our sponsor, again, I want to reiterate our sponsor, Mr. Gary Bell, banjo guitar instructor here at Breazeale. Mr. Bell teaches all kinds of music, blues, rock, country, folk, bluegrass. He is the brother of longtime friend, Mr. Larry Bell, as I told you earlier. We're also blessed to have Mr. Gary Bell here at Breazeale to teach what he loves to do, and that is play music. He's here every Wednesday morning, starting at 9. More information, you can also contact Mr. Bell at 864-517-0044. Again, that number is 864-517-0044. He also gives lessons in Greenville, where he lives. So if you're in that area and you want lessons, you can go to his home and take a private lesson from Mr. Bell. Great instructor. A great guy, too. He's funny. Okay, today we're going to talk about an interesting instrument. I bought one, I guess less than a year ago. It's called a dobro banjo. I fell in love with it. We've talked about this instrument before. But Mark Stoudemire is coming up to talk more about this wonderful instrument that I fell in love with. So he had to find me one, which he did, and our serial numbers are not far off. Anyway, welcome to the show, Mark.
Hello, y'all. Me again.
Ed, Mark again.
Probably getting tired of me, but I'm here again. A little blurry-eyed and probably baggy-eyed this morning. Got in from Florida after 9 last night, and of course stayed up half the night watching the television.
Yeah, let me
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, let me talk a little bit about last night. I stayed up till I think 2:30 until he got up behind the podium with his family and stuff like that. But I voted for him. I think he's going to get us back in the right direction. It's going to take some time because previous administration, they messed up a lot of stuff. It's going to take him some time, but he did it before. You know, Mr. Trump, I've met him 2 or 3 times. He's a real nice guy. He's all business. And he don't need the money. The man's got plenty of money. But he just wants to help our country to move forward. You know, when he was in office last time, he went to these other countries. He sat down with them and said, hey, this is the way it's going to be. If you don't like it, we're coming to get you. And by golly, they knew he was serious. So they pretty much did what he wanted to do. And from what I understand, some of those governments were trying to put people over here to take him out because they didn't want that. So he's back in power, and I'm glad to see that. And hopefully in the next year or so, we'll see a lot of changes. Well, actually, he'll start making changes as soon as he goes to that White House in January. But there'll be some good changes, I believe. So anyway, I stayed up, like I said, 2:30 this morning. I wanted to see him come on stage and give his victory speech. He's a very humble man when it comes to that. I'll tell you a little quick story, which really impressed me about him. He came out to Anderson Airport, and they called me and said, you need to go out there and meet and greet. I'm the commissioner at the airport. Meet and greet Mr. Trump. I said, yes, sir. So I went over there, and nobody was supposed to know about it, but, you know, some of the people that worked there told their families and stuff. So we had maybe a couple dozen people at the gate there at the fence when he landed. I went over to his jet, welcomed him to Anderson again, and brought him over to the fence so he could talk to a few of those people. This one little lady was in the front of the fence there. She had a book. She was holding it out, and I walked up and I said, yes, ma'am. She said, can you make sure that Mr. Trump gets this? I said, yes, ma'am. So after a little bit, I went to Mr. Trump, and I said, that lady there wants you to have this. It wasn't a Bible, but it was a book, an inspirational Christian book. And then she had written something in the front page of it, you know. So the man stopped what he was doing. The security guy, he said, wait a minute. He walked over to the fence. The lady gave it to him. He opened the front cover and read it, turned around, walked over to one of the security guys, and he said, make sure you put this in my seat. I want to read it on my way back to New York. Put it in my seat. So he took that time out to do that. That impressed me. And I said, this guy's got a good heart. He's got a Christian heart. Anyway, that really impressed me about Mr. Donald Trump. A lot of other things did, but that was the main thing that stood out about Mr. Donald Trump. One more story about Donald. We had an airport meeting one night, and he came in during the day. He said, I'll be back this evening. That's okay. So he called on his way back, and the airport manager, young boy, and he answered the phone. We were having a board meeting, and he answered the phone, and he hung up. He was real quiet. I said, "Who was it?" He said, "That was Donald Trump." I said, "What do you want?" He said he wanted 2 Big Macs, a large order of fries, and a big orange drink from McDonald's. I said, "Well, what are you waiting for?" So I made him get in his car and go to McDonald's. He got what he wanted and brought it into the conference room there and set it on the end of the table. Here comes Donald. He comes in and he said, I said, "There's what you ordered." He said, "Just go put it in the plane. I'll eat it on the way back to New York." So I told Justin, I said, "Well, go put it in his airplane, in that jet out there." And he went and took it out there. It was funny because I had the engineers were there that night. I was trying to get the county to sign off on building a new terminal. I pushed that for 3 years, finally got it pushed through. But so the engineer was there, had nothing to do with Donald Trump. So I said, "Andy, if we could get him just to put his signature on this contract. We don't want his money. We just want his endorsement. I can take that to the state, and boy, they'll pass this thing like." Well, anyway, we were outside. He was walking to the jet. Like I said, it'll give you 3 minutes. And he starts walking. So he stopped before he got to the jet, and I had an agenda, airport agenda in my hand. The Andy was in front of him with the contract. So I said, "Mr. Trump, we need to get you to sign this, no financial commitment, but just your signature would go a long way." So he reached over there and grabbed my agenda out of my hand, wrong contract, and he put his signature on it and took off. So I got that. I still have that airport agenda with his signature on the bottom of it. Took off. So anyway, that's my story about old Donald. Good man. I think he'll take our country back to where we need to be and push it forward. So anyway, that's all I got to say about politics. Come on, Mark.
Okay, hello again. This is Don's.
Oh, is that mine?
That's your dobro banjo. I made sure it was in tune.
Okay.
And I tell you, while we're doing it, Don, we did this show the last time, but the sound, I listened to it that evening, and you couldn't understand anything we said hardly.
Yeah.
So we decided we would do the dobro show again.
Can you hold this while I get my picks?
So Don's got to get his picks, but this is Don's dobro banjo. I'm not sure what year, but it's probably late 80s or early 90s. Its serial number is 81117D. I have one that looks just about like it. I'm going to walk off camera for a second. You can still hear me, I think. My serial number is 81057D. So these are 6 serial numbers apart.
Hello?
Mine's was built a little before Don's.
Okay.
So you can see this. It's a pretty instrument.
Hold on.
This was
I got to run over to the camera while you show them that dobro.
Okay. This is it's a resophonic guitar or a resonator guitar. You see it's got the big metal resonator. That's metal. Looks almost like a hubcap or something. It's got little circles around it here, and it's wood bodied. So it's more like a guitar. But it's a 5-string banjo. It's tuned like a banjo. Got 5 strings. Got 5th string there, but it's got a dobro-y sound. You know what we normally think of as a dobro is like Jerry Douglas and Uncle Josh Graves played, where they play with a Hawaiian slide. I think it started in Hawaii, and then they pick it with their fingers like that. Well, if you can see, this sort of sounds like a dobro. Got a dobro sound. So anyway, mine, when you see it, it looks almost identical to Don's. I think Don's a little shinier. The only real difference is Don's has crescents and stars for the later. This is made by Dobro. Dopra brothers, who made these famous, I guess. Them in the old National Company from back in the early part of last century, the metal ones. But anyway, I don't think, I think Gibson had bought the Dobro brand, and of course Gibson's not making banjos, so I'm